Hey guys, Chris here from IELTS Advantage. Thank you very much for watching this video. And what we're going to do in this video is answer a very common question that I get. So today I was doing a Facebook Live session, a Q&A session, and what I told everybody was I'd pick the most interesting question or the most commonly asked question during that session. And it was this question: how long will it take me to get to X? So how long will it take me to get a band 6.5, or how long will it take me to get a band 7 or 8 or whatever it is? So we get this question pretty much every day, and the answer to it is quite frustrating for students. And the answer to it is it's impossible for us to answer that question because it depends on so many different factors. Some people will be able to get the score they need in a week, some people will be able to get the score they need in a year, and everybody's kind of in between. And it depends on all of these different factors. So what I decided to do in this video is talk about all of those factors, and then you'll be able to decide how long it might take you to get the scores that you need. If you are really worried about this and you want a little bit of extra help, you can always email me, chris@ieltsadvantage.com, because to give you your answer, to give you an accurate answer to this question, we really need more information from you. So if you want that, just feel free to send us an email. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. So the first question that we always ask people when they ask this, or when we're talking to our VIP students, is where are you now? So not location, but where are you in terms of your score now? So if you are at a 5.5 and you need a 7, it's going to take you much longer compared to someone who is at a 6.5 and needs a 7. And this is all about really a reality check for a lot of students. A lot of students are completely unrealistic about how much time it's going to take to move from one band to the next. And the other factors will determine how long that takes as well. So, but in general, the bigger the gap between where you are now and where you need to be, the longer it's going to take you. Next is time. So what we ask students, or VIP students, is how much time do you have to study per day? And we don't mean studying as in, yeah, I have 4 hours and you spend 3 hours of that on Facebook or chatting to your friends or doing whatever it is. Like sitting down, total focus on what you're doing. How much time do you have to dedicate to that? Obviously, someone who can only dedicate 30 minutes a day compared to someone who can do 4 or 5 hours a day, the person who's doing 4 or 5 hours a day is going to get there much quicker than the person who can only do 30 minutes or an hour. And again, it's about being realistic. All right, anybody can get the score they need. I truly believe that, but someone who only has 1 hour a day is obviously, it's going to take them a lot longer than someone who has 4 or 5 hours a day. However, someone who has 4 or 5 hours a day but spends most of that, on Facebook or listening to music or looking out the window, they are at a big disadvantage compared to somebody who has incredible focus. So what we also discuss with our students is, what are you like studying? Are you very good at studying? Are you very good at focusing? Or are you not very good at all? It doesn't make you a bad person if you find it very difficult to study or you find it very difficult to sit down and focus. But obviously the more focus that you have, the shorter it's going to take you to get the score that you need. So that's really important. Also, we're getting into more granular detail now. What are your weaknesses? What are the specific reasons that are stopping you getting the score that you need? So this is particularly for students who maybe are stuck at, say, 6.5 in writing and need a 7. Do you have multiple things that you need to work on, or are there just sort of 2 or 3 things? Obviously, the more weaknesses you have, let's say you have multiple weaknesses in multiple areas and you need help with speaking, reading, listening and writing, that's going to take you much longer than somebody who just needs help with writing and just has 2 or 3 areas that they need to work on. So again, that's about getting the help that you need, getting a teacher to look at your work and establishing what your weaknesses are. And that is probably the most important thing that you need to do, not just in terms of speeding up the process, but making the process effective, because if you don't know where you're going wrong, if you don't know what your weaknesses are, then you can't fix them. If you don't fix your weaknesses, you'll never get the score that you need. Really, really important. This is something that a lot of people overlook, is attitude. So if you give me a student with a really good attitude, they are going to get the score that they need far quicker than someone with a poor attitude. And even if the person with a poor attitude has more ability, or they have, they have a higher score of where they're at the moment, there's a shorter gap, even if they have more time, even if they have, well, they probably don't have focus, or even if they have less weaknesses, really the X factor is attitude. So by attitude, I mean somebody who is comfortable taking criticism. So somebody who is comfortable with a teacher looking at their writing and telling them, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, you need to fix this, you need to fix that. So that's incredibly important in terms of your attitude towards criticism. Also your attitude towards setbacks. So it is a bumpy road that you're going to be on. There are going to be lots of times when you are maybe a bit frustrated with your progress, because your progress will not be like this. Your progress will generally be going up, but it's more like this. You will be getting an essay back and I will rip your essay apart and tell you there are multiple things wrong with it. If you have a great attitude and you're like, this is a great opportunity to learn and to improve, then you're going to progress and get to the score you need much, much faster compared to someone like some of my students. We don't have that many students like this, but some students, you'll send them an essay back and they'll just completely fall apart. And they'll be like, I can never improve, I hate this, I'll never be able to get the score that I need. Those people, it's going to take them a very, very long time. Most importantly, not most importantly, but I'd say attitude is the most important thing. But a close second is, what's your teacher like? What are your materials like? If you are using materials that have been created by somebody who doesn't know what they're doing, or you're using fake practice tests, for example, or you're using a really cheap course that is designed to just make as much money as possible rather than actually help students, then you're going to be severely handicapped. You're going to have a huge number of things going wrong with your preparation. Also, your teacher. Unfortunately, not all IELTS teachers know what they're doing. A lot of them do. A lot of them are amazing. A lot of them have no idea. And everybody is kind of and everybody runs on a spectrum. So there are amazing teachers. There are teachers that shouldn't be allowed near a classroom, and everyone else is kind of in between. The better teacher you have, the faster you're going to get the score that you need. It's pretty simple. Next, your habits. So this is connected to your teacher and your materials. If you have really bad study habits, or just really bad, you have some strange ideas about the IELTS test. For example, if you think that the best way to improve is to learn a list of words, or you think the best way to improve is to memorize lots of sample essays, those are terrible habits. And for many of my students who join my VIP course, the first couple of weeks are just us removing those bad habits. So a lot of people have very bad habits, and they think that the examiners want, all these tips and tricks and things that you hear out there, but until you fully understand what they want, then you can't give it to them. So somebody who has bad study habits, bad misconceptions about what the examiners want, it's going to take them a very, very long time. Then general English. What's your general English like? In general, someone who has quite good general English, so their vocabulary is good, their grammar is good, they will not have such a steep learning curve as someone who really struggles with grammar and vocabulary, because it just takes a lot longer to learn general English, to learn the vocabulary and the grammar that you need, than it does to learn the IELTS skills and the strategies and things like that. They can be learned pretty quickly, but grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, for example, they take time. So if your general English is no problem at all, like a lot of my students have, really high marks in reading, really high marks in listening, quite high marks in speaking, but they just keep failing the writing test, that's generally a sign that their general English is pretty good. They just have lots of bad habits. And once you remove those and you teach someone what to do, then it's pretty easy for them to get the score that they need. But if they have lots of bad habits plus pretty poor general English, it's going to take quite a long time. And then the X factor, there are so many other things, there are hundreds of other things that could either speed up your progress or slow you down, and everybody is different. It's a short video, I can't go into, absolutely everything that you need. Like, for example, I had a student today and her boyfriend decided to just move to a different country and she can't study anymore. She just doesn't have the time because she's moving her whole life to a different country. What that could be, something with you, something that interrupts your study, something that interrupts your progress. I have no idea what it is, but everybody has bumps on the road. So hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and you'll get all our future videos that we'll be making in the future. And if you have a question about IELTS, pop it in the comments below and I will get back to you as soon as I can. If you need any other help with IELTS, you can go to IELTSadvantage.com or my email is chris@IELTSadvantage.com. Thanks very much, guys. See you again soon. Bye-bye.